Peace and love, my friends. Thanks for being here live with me this morning. Thanks for being here by recording. If you're listening later in your day, thanks for liking and subscribing too. There's the birds, the sublime birds singing for us this morning. Let me know if you like them in the background there. So I want to talk about detachment and non-attachment and do a little comparison between the work we covered yesterday at our Kriya class and Meister Eckhart. So meditation leads to detachment. And someone said to me, why would I want detachment? It sounds horrible. Sour face. So here's a quote from Meister Eckhart, from the writings of Meister Eckhart, the 13th century mystic, and I've modernized it and I've simplified the language. In the Gospel of Luke 10:42, Jesus says to Martha, unum et necessarium. Only one thing is necessary, which means that to be calm and pure, you need just one thing: detachment. Many teachers highly value love, like St. Paul, who says, no matter what I do, if I don't have love, I'm nothing. 1 Corinthians 13:1. However, I, meaning Eckhart, I consider detachment even more important than love. First, love makes me love God, but detachment makes God love me. It's better to draw God to me than to draw myself to God, because God can connect with me more quickly, deeply, and profoundly than I can. Detachment naturally brings God to me because God's nature is unity and purity, which comes from detachment. Therefore, God must come to a detached heart. Secondly, Eckhart continues, I value detachment more than love because love makes me endure everything for God. But detachment allows me to receive only God. So here's my explanation. Meister Eckhart's quote emphasizes the importance of detachment over love in our spiritual lives. He draws on these biblical references to highlight his points. When Jesus tells Martha that only one thing is necessary, Jesus implies that focusing solely on spiritual purity and detachment from worldly concerns is crucial. Eckhart argues that while love is important and commands us to love God, detachment is even more potent because it compels God to love us. This is because detachment aligns our hearts with God's natural state of unity and purity, making it easier for God to unite with us. Eckhart suggests that detachment, freeing us from all but God, ultimately brings God closer to us than our love for God can alone. Because in a way, our love for God is still self-involved. The practical implication is that we can experience a deeper connection with God and a greater sense of spiritual purity and peace by practicing detachment. This perspective emphasizes inner spiritual freedom and purity, suggesting that a detached heart is a more profound and effective way to experience God's presence and love. And when I was in Div school, when I read this the first time, I thought, yeah, maybe so. This is the root for me. Detachment is what I usually term non-attachment. And as we discussed yesterday in our Kriya Yoga class and our study of the Yoga Sutras about the Parusa, the divine self with a capital D and a capital S, which abides in all beings, it naturally arises when we step out of the way. The practice of detachment, non-attachment, is simply ourselves stepping aside from ourselves. We find that Eckhart and Patanjali, these authors that are about, say, 2,000 years apart in entirely different cultures, agree. The only one standing between me and source is me. When I decline, the love within, greater than any love that I can muster, infills me and overflows me, bringing heaven to me in humility and a love that is far greater than I can create by reaching upward. So the practice of meditation is one of self detachment, non attachment to self. In every gap in which when you are meditating and your mind leaves aside the language, leaves aside yourself and your thoughts, in that little tiny gap, in that little tiny silence is non attachment. Because when you're in that space, there's no more jealousy or anger or grocery list or what I did yesterday or the dream I had last night. There is only this silence. And in this silent space, one is in the state of non attachment, of detachment. And in that space, we step aside, allowing ourselves to be inflated like a balloon from the inside out. I'm the only one in my own way of my spirituality. I'm the only one standing between me and source. And as I practice my meditation, which is this practice of single mindedness, and I step aside from myself, I allow the space inside me to grow. This is a powerful, powerful practice. It goes back thousands of years. I chose to practice it for the last 40 years, and I can tell you from experience that it works. And the greatest aspect of this is that once you understand this and practice it for a period of time, you don't really need any other teacher at all. Because this divine love, as Patanjali talks about it, the essence of the Parusa, which is inside of all of us, the divine, the Allah, the Allaha, whatever you want to call this divine energy, the Hovye, Vavye, the source of all being, the supreme being, it naturally asserts its presence as we step aside. Unum est necessarium. One thing is necessary. And from this one thing, all things arise. And so I'm not actually in pursuit of God in my practice. In my practice, I'm pursuing mental focus and breath work in order to calm my mind to no thought, in order to become detached, to non attach from my own self, so that the space inside me is ready and available to welcome the guest, to welcome the one in, for letting that one that is already in me arise and fill me and expand inside me. And so instead of having to bear all things of suffering for the sake of God, as many churches teach, instead, I choose the one thing and I let that one thing bear all the weight. It's amazing the difference it makes. Hi, Maggie, Martina, Evaluate, Nadine. Oh, here we go. We have Asan Goham, Asan Goham, Asan Goham, Puna, Puna. I don't know what that means, but I assume that you're saying something important. But I can't translate that because I don't know what it means. And you love the birds, Nadine. Thank you very much. Very much. I appreciate that. All right. Hi, Amy. Okay, so we've been practicing a centering prayer practice for a long time here, 320 or so more episodes of meditation time. And I realized that if I had published these the night before, we'd probably get a bigger turnout. But I hit my desk around 2 hours before this begins. So for me, it's about 6 a.m. And time management is what I'm trying to do. We'll continue doing these as long as people show up. My feet are flat on the floor. My spine is straight. My hands are in this mula. I'm bringing my breath to my feet, my mind. When I say I bring my breath somewhere, what I mean is that I bring the focus of my mind to feel my feet. So let's start down there. Feeling my feet. You can wiggle your toes to feel your toes a little. Relax them. Feeling my calves. Relaxing as I go. On the exhale, relax. Right up to my thighs. Relax. Relax my back, my shoulders, let them release. Relax my face. Let the muscles go slack. Using my mantra, my chant, I breathe in to my navel, expanding my belly, chanting interiorly, pausing and releasing. Exhaling through my nose. Attaching your chant to your breath. Let's do that a few times. Into your navel. Pausing at the top and the bottom of your breath. Breathing into your root. Compressing your pelvic floor as you breathe in. Keeping your mind in your pelvic floor. Exhale, keep it tense. Use those muscles. Control breath. On the next exhale, right up to your third eye. Inhale. Ride your spine right up. Relaxing your shoulders. Let's focus on your third eye. Bring your attention to your frontal lobe. Use your breath to keep your mind focused. Inhale to your root again. Now run this root from your root to your third eye with your chant and your breath. You're on your own. when your mind wanders, return to your chant. Long, slow breath. Now relax and sweep your mind from your crown to your feet on the exhale. As we discussed yesterday, on the inhale, sweep your mind from your feet to your crown, up your whole body. Let the prana flow of its own accord. attention to your heart. Your heart chakra. Thanks for being here, everyone. Peace and love to you all. Sending out love to Mackie. Peace and love, everyone.